Vice President to the public has already agreed to show themselves now so that you can know who these people are. These are volunteer lawyers who said that enough is enough. And the Vice President and members of the Liberal Party, including that of Chairman Chito Gascon, has systematically organizingly maligned our country for the last 7 or 8 months. It has already had an impact to us on the economic scale and could possibly continue to have additional impact to us. In fact, as I've mentioned in my several media interviews and Facebook postings, we've already lost a $444 million grant from the Millennium Challenge Corporation. The European Union has already threatened us that they will abrogate 27 trade agreements with us, purportedly because of the alleged non-upholding of the human rights provision in those trade agreements. There's already a threat also from the European Union that they will suspend our GSP, our General System of Preference, or duty-free exports to the European Union, which can adversely affect our export sector, haven't been growing for the last 6 years. And just last night, Secretary Wanda Toyo just confirmed, and this was also confirmed by our friends from the OFW from the other countries, that there is now an impact on our tourism sector. Remember, the new backbone of the Philippine economy is the tourism sector. It can be the #1 contributor of the country's growth by 2013. That's the target of NEDA. So if you have a flourishing tourism sector that can have another economic impact to our Filipinos or fellow Filipinos who are now attached to the tourism sector for their economic viability. So kagabi, maraming mga OFW po ang nagsabi sa atin na marami na pong mga kaibigan nating mga taga-ibang bansa ang nagkakansela ng kanilang pagbabakasyon o pagmamasyal dito sa Pilipinas dahil nga dun sa video na ipinalabas ni VP Leni Robredo na baka daw totoong may tatayan dito, na mayroong mga paglabag ng karapatang pantao. Kaya nga po, ngayong araw, banggit ko nga, after I've called for the impeachment of Vice President Leni Robredo, immediately some volunteer lawyers and private individuals volunteered themselves to lead the impeachment complaint. And we have enough time to file the impeachment because Congress right now is in recess. Congress will resume their session on May, which gives us enough time for what we call the case build-up. Malinaw na po yung pundasyon ng impeachment complaint. Magagawin lang po nilang airtight, and most probably, if there will be other people who can bring in additional impeachable offenses made by the Vice President, they're more than welcome, para pangpadagdag. Pero vis-a-vis the issue of betrayal of public trust, malinaw na malinaw po. Tandaan po natin, trust is a feeling. It can be measured by feelings. I was mentioning a while ago off-cam that even before that video that was presented by the Vice President in Austria, I still had that trust with the Vice President. And nowhere in all my speeches, nowhere in all my engagements, despite the fact that she has already attacked also the 700,000 surrenderies at that time, that it was never an achievement by the Duterte administration right in the face of the DILG, we still maintain respect to the Vice President because we have trust, even that little. But after, I never even called her names. I called her VP Leni Robredo all the way. But after I saw that video, for the first time, or one of the few times, it really hit my emotions. That's why never have I called her lugaw, pwede ko na siyang tawagin lugaw. Kasi ako yung naging emotional na sa kanyang ginawa. So, hindi na po tayo magpapatagal, tatawagin ko po si Attorney Trixie Angeles para po ipakilala yung grupo na magpapanimula ng impeachment complaint sa ating pangalawang Pangulo. Attorney Angeles?
Ayan, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Magpapasalamat kami na lahat po kayo nandito ngayon, dumalo. Ganito po yung programa natin. Magbabasa po ng statement si Attorney Rivera. He is going to be our spokesman. After that, we will distribute the copies of the statement and we will take questions. At the table today are, well, padating pa lang si Attorney Ahmed na. At the table today, Professor Ton Contreras, myself, Attorney Rivera, and Attorney Tom Berenguer. Still to arrive is Attorney Ahmed Paglinawan. Okay, please welcome Attorney Bruce Rivera.
Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Wala pa yung audio. Pakisuyo po. Yan po. Okay. We prepared this statement as a precursor to everything. Ito po yung paunang statement namin, of course, being the spokesperson of the group. We would give you the complete statement later on, and we will be happy to answer questions. Okay, this is the official statement of the group of lawyers who will be starting the impeachment complaint against Leni Robredo. I reserve the vice president title at this point. Here is the statement, ladies and gentlemen. Leni Robredo has gone too far. The means in which she has conducted herself since assuming office has been inimical to public interest, ruinous and prejudicial to the economy, erodes confidence in the legal system and government, and places the honor and dignity of the Filipinos to naught. We have long watched her. We have done our duty calling her out on social media despite concerted efforts to silence us. Yet, it appears that not only is she has continued unabated in her actions detrimental to the Filipino people, but she seems to be stepping up her ante, using her position as vice president to peddle lies and distortions of reality. And despite public outcry, Leni Robredo remains persistent, unrepentant, and diabolical. Leni Robredo has gone too far. And we demand accountability. She needs to answer us right now, because it is clear that in her determination to further her political stature, she is willing to bring the Filipino nation to perdition, even at the cost of Filipino integrity and self-determination. So we have decided to file her impeachment. She can no longer be allowed to continue in this manner. Not anymore, not at our expense. But we do not intend to do this alone. We have and are continuing to call additional lawyers and volunteers on our ongoing case build-up. We need your help because the fate of the nation lies not just in all our shoulders. It lies in the heart and soul of every Filipino. We need your help because we want to give Leni Robredo what she failed to give us: the truth, the unabated truth. Frankly, the outpouring of support since we began talking about impeachment has been overwhelming and deafening. We hear the complaints, the outcry, and yes, the anger of our countrymen. And we cannot continue to ignore them anymore. We are doing this not just for them, but with them, because that is the least we can do as Filipinos. It is our civic and moral duty because Leni Robredo has gone too far. That is the official statement, ladies and gentlemen, and we are ready to answer questions from all of you guys.
Meron po pronouncement kanina umaga si Presidente Duterte na tigilan na raw ang impeachment complaint against VP Robredo. What is your opinion or comment?
It's not an issue because, first of all, we understand the President's predicament because he he wants the best for the Filipinos, and perhaps he may want to stay away from this trouble. But we're not doing this for the president. We're doing this for the Filipino people. And in as much as, of course, we expect our president to be a statesman and not encourage disunity, perhaps. But from our end, we the Filipinos, we see the need to do this. And we're doing this not for the president, but we're doing this for our country.
Itutuloy pa rin po ninyo considering na meron siyang pronouncement.
Yes, of course. We're not the president's minions.
Thank you. Over
Kindly
here, yes.
explain I'm Sandra from Gemini 7. Kindly explain the mode of the impeachment process that you're going to pursue.
Well, there's only one mode of impeachment in the Constitution, and that impeachment is through Congress. Of course, we would have to, we would of course have to have case build up first. We have to draft the articles of impeachment. We would want somebody in Congress to sponsor or to sponsor the bill. It will go to Congress by commission, then plenary, then later on, if the proper votes are had, it will go to the Senate. The Senate court sitting as an impeachment court may impeach her or not. But at the end of the day, this is a political action, and we, as Filipinos, would be the ones starting it.
Attorney,
Yes.
alam po from DCWB. Ano po yung right now, kahit initial yan, ano mga grounds ang kasama dun sa mga ipapile nyo na impeachment?
General grounds lang po kasi we don't want to preempt our case build-up. Of course, betrayal of public trust, culpable violation of the Constitution, other high crimes. Possible grounds. Of course, we are not limiting ourselves to these grounds, but well, in the Constitution is very clear. These are the grounds in the Constitution, but we don't want to deal into the specifics unless we have finished the articles of impeachment.
Sir, in case build up, how long will this go on?
As soon as possible, because we have until May 2. We cannot give you we don't want to preempt anything, because number one, we don't want to give you a timeline, but definitely before Congress resumes the sessions. We have, but of course we want more. We don't want to make it just appear like it because it appears like it. We want the truth to be there. So that's the reason why we want time. I cannot say that, sir.
What is the implication of your impeachment complaint to the impeachment complaint filed by Attorney Lozano?
I don't know what implication is, but he filed first. We might file second, but it does not necessarily mean that ours is lesser or defective or inferior. It's just that we filed second. It's on Congress whose impeachment articles of impeachment they will agree or they will follow. It might even be a correlative or a combined articles of impeachment, consolidated articles of impeachment.
Sorry, follow-up. Hindi ba ito welta dun sa kasi kailan lang pinail ng impeachment complaint ito si Presidente Duterte, pagkatapos sa ilang araw lang pero ng pronouncement na magpapile din ng impeachment complaint sa PBB. Hindi naman ito welta kay PBB dahil sinasabi pa kami kinalaman doon sa impeachment complaint kay Presidente.
Hindi naman kami mga mercenaries saka mga gang na bumibuelta at yung back. Hindi po kami ganon. If they file a case against President Duterte impeachment, then so be it. Hindi naman kami we are not defending President Duterte in the impeachment case. But what we are trying to say is that, well, it might be that the timing is not perfect, the timing is not good. But at the end of the day, we have a reason to file an impeachment complaint against Lenny Robredo, and that's it. It's not buelta because, well, kung buelta lang, may mas masagwang buelta diyan kaysa impeachment.
Siguro para alam niyo lang yung history o kasaysayan ng impeachment campaign. Hindi po namin alam nung ako yung nag-post sa social media, hindi ko alam na nagpa-file ng impeachment complaint si Congressman Alejano.
ang aking panawagan nagsimula after ko ma-interview para ilinaw kung anong palit ulo, no, sa ganan ng ating kapulisan ng karambola sa DWIZ. After ko ma-interview, sinabi nila online na yung YouTube ni VP Robredo. Doon ko nakita, no, na tatawa-tawa pa siya habang nagsasalita siya ng mga hindi klaro at hindi veripikadong datos dito sa ating bansa. Pagkatapos nun, doon ako nagbanggit o nagpatawag na siya i-impeach for betrayal of public trust, and there's a basis. The basis is what they have been doing systematically has created economic sabotage to our country, and hindi na natin dapat palampasinan. There's a world economic problem. We are doing our best to overcome that world economic problem, and these things that the Vice President has been saying in the international community has already taken its toll. The $434 million na hindi binigay sa atin, 20 billion ho yan. If you look at it in the economic perspective, wala siyang dent sa ating financing sources, sa ating bayan. But 20 billion is 20 billion. Kumbaga laman tiyan din yan. At banggit ko nga dyan, bilang isang ekonomista, pag yan ginamit ng tama para sa ating anti-poverty programs, it can bring down poverty incidence by 1.5 to 2%. Yan ang mawawala sa atin dahil hindi natin yun nakuha. Not to mention that we have now a potential economic relationship with EU, at malinaw yan, binanggit nila ilang beses na yung abrogation of the 27 trade agreements, the suspension of our exports, duty-free exports to Europe, at yun nga, itong turismo, lumabas na po ang mabigat na issue. The new backbone of the Philippine economy is in tourism. At kung tayo ay problema sa pagdadala ng mga foreign vacationers sa ating bansa, magkakaproblema yung maraming bayan-bayan natin na umaasa sa turismo bilang pamumuhay nila.
Sir, Joyce Ines po, CNN Philippines. Maliban sa video sent to the United Nations Commission on Narcotic Drugs, meron pa po bang ibang incidences na nag-commit ng protocol violation of the Constitution and betrayal of public trust?
Okay, of course, maraming instances. Number one, if you notice before, there was a statement by Lenny Robredo saying that if the murders does not continue, does not stop, she will encourage people from the outside to intervene and to come inside within the Philippines. Technically, guys, that is what you call intervention, encouraging intervention. And she took an oath as Vice President to protect the Constitution and the duly constituted authorities because of the made by the Constitution. So if you encourage people from the outside, meaning you encourage people to interfere with our political matters, that is basically an act that is treason in peacetime. But because there's no war, it's not treason. But still, she took an oath to protect the Philippines. She took an oath to protect the Constitution. And why would she encourage this? Even by well, let's face it. Bilang pag pumunta kami sa abroad, magsasalita kami tungkol sa patayan, tungkol sa ganon, people will say, okay, that might be true or false because we do not have a position to give us credibility. Why I'm just a lawyer, we are just lawyers, so they will say, okay, maybe ito lang yung mga nabibwisit sa ganito, ganyan. But if the Vice President goes to some international organization or some international forum with people also in government saying unequivocal things about extrajudicial killings, about being in darkness, about being controlled by a madman, then technically people will take that statement hook, line, and sinker because she has the seal of the Vice Presidency in her back. And that is the problem. Why? Because for outsiders who do not know the real story in the Philippines, they will say, oh, perhaps that might be true. Why? Because the second highest person in the land is trying to tell us this. Now, I tell you, are these statements, are these numbers being supported by evidence? Well, technically, if you look at it from a point of view of statistics, it's not. It's actually a distorted number. It's actually a skewed number. So, and as Vice President, she cannot put us to the dogs. Hindi tayo pwede ilagay sa basura. And that's the problem that's the reason why all of us are angry, not because we are pro-Duterte supporters. Of course, we are supporters of the Constitution. We are Filipinos. We get hurt. And if our Vice President is doing that to the Philippines on the guise that she is our Vice President, then perhaps there's something wrong with the system.
In addition to the two, we're looking at the possibility of defective statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth. We are not yet final on that. We are still looking into it if she filed the correct SALN, if she declared all her properties in the SALN, or if her assets have been declared in the right way. So that's an angle that we're looking into, because remember, we have impeached the Chief Justice before on that basis. So even if we know that in impeachment proceedings there is no precedent, stare decisis doesn't operate, but, and my lawyer friends would tell me that, but we already have at least in the history, we've impeached a sitting Chief Justice because of SALN. So that's one possibility, and it is a culpable violation of the Constitution. Wait lang.
So sino pong principal nyo? Sino pong mag-funding dito para mag-roll po yung impeachment?
Walang funding sa amin at this point. Kami ay pag nag-meeting kami, kanya-kanya kaming bayad kasi if you notice, this is the popular misconception that we are funded by anyone. We are not funded by anyone. We are doing this we have our own careers at hand. We can afford a little bit of comfort and luxury.
Pero wala kayong principal. Sabi nyo kanina para supporter ko kayo ni Duterte.
It doesn't make us a principal. It doesn't make Duterte our principal. We support him. That's a common goal. But that is not for. Ibig bang sabihin, pag 5 kami lahat, Duterte supporter, si Duterte na ang aming backer. Hindi po totoo yan. Parang pang LP ata yung dialogue na yan. Hindi po para sa amin yan.
Just an addition to that, no?
Excuse me, wait, hold on, you're out of order. Wait. Sorry, sir, you're out of order. There is a question.
Okay.
There is a, hold on, sir, excuse me. Sir. Sir, excuse me. Okay, enough. Sir, please stand down. Stand down. Okay.
Malinis din ang sagot namin.
It's alright. The question was taken and it was answered.
Sagot namin.
We understand. We understand. Alright. Henceforth, please, questions will pass to me. Okay, please call my name so that I can acknowledge you. Alright?
Something lang. Can I say something?
Hold on.
Okay. As to the question if the president or the government is our principal, I will categorically say no. Because I myself, during the campaign, I contributed to his campaign. Ako pa nagbigay ng pera. Hindi ako yung binigyan. And up to now, it's still the same setup. I am giving now my time for this. So that's to answer your question.
Categorically, none of us here are agents of the president. Alright? Thank you. Yes, no, actually that is an important question. And thank you very much for that. Sir, blue shirt. Yes, sir. Kayo po. Yes, sir. Right now, all we do is call ourselves the VP Robredo impeachment team.
Wala kaming name. We don't have a name, honestly. Wala kaming name. Hindi kami boy band na may name, but we don't have a name.
Excuse me, sir. Yes, ma'am?
Sino po ang nag-initiate ng grupo? Sino po yung pinaka-leader kung may matatapos?
Actually, if you notice, we're all social media bloggers. If you know our group, meron po kaming nagkikita-kita po kami on a regular basis. So, announced to many, marami sa amin lawyers. Ito, si Attorney Trixie lawyer, ako lawyer, si Attorney Tom lawyer, si Professor almost lawyer kasi talagang he knows the law. He is a professor in the academe. So, nag-uusap-usap kami and then it came to a point that talagang hindi na namin talaga kaya. So, somebody said, why don't we file a way to impeach her? Or why is this impeachable? So we decided, it was just a group effort and then later on, may mga kumausap na sa amin, ng mga ibang tao, giving support. And that's the reason why it gave us enough energy and enough motivation to do this.
Sir, that decision came about when?
Actually, after the video na 45 siya. But even before that, yung mga ginagawa niya, medyo naaano na kami. Nagsasabi na kami, iba impeachable yan? Di ba ganun yan? Nag-uusap kami, Panyero Tom and Panyero Trixie, over lunch or coffee, parang, hindi ba dapat i-impeach na ito? Parang, wag muna kasi mahirap naman. Kasi,
Anong instances po yun? Na even before, sinasabi niyo pong
so sobrang dami din yung maalala. Oo, hindi naman to hindi naman to yung bagay na sinusulat namin sa aming journal, hindi po ganito to. Yung mga meeting lang to once in a while na nakikita kami, we do it regularly, almost once a week or once every 2 weeks nakikita-kita kami. And we do that because we have been attacked. We have been attacked in social media. Marami kasing instances na we are being trolled, attacked by people. So yun po yung situation. Kaya kami nag-uusap-usap. It's not because that we want to be mutual assistance, because kami po ay ina-attack sa social media. So we seek each other's comfort. Parang Mystery Loves Company po ang tawag namin diyan.
Social support.
Oo.
Ano po bang congressman na willing mag-endorse po o mag-sponsor ng impeachment campaign?
Actually, meron.
Pwedeng masabi pa kasi we don't want to preempt kasi baka naman magbago isip niya, di ba? Hindi natin alam. Because of course hindi namin kasi ito honestly, if the president, we kind of expect that he will stay away from this, but of course we don't know the minds of the people kasi kami we have different minds. Though we support the president cannot tell us what to do because we're people.
Hold on, sir. Yes, sir. Sandala.
Ito naman po sa ibang sinasabi ng mga kababayan natin na because of the impeachment campaign, we are dividing the nation. What is your comment or reaction on this?
Our nation has already been divided, for crying out loud, sir. But of course, we have to be honest, but we have to be very careful with saying the word division. Because division actually says it's 50-50. Yun ang division eh. Pag sinabi mong 70-30 or even 80-20, that's not a division, that's called democracy. So when you say division, make sure that you have the facts to say it's division. Because if you say division, it's actually like, for example, 53-47, 48-52, yun po, division yun. Naghati ang bansa. Pero wala naman tayo nakikitang social weather station survey ngayon yung nagsasabi na the nation is divided in the middle. In fact, almost the last social weather station, SWS and Pulse Asia survey said that the president has overwhelming support of the Filipino people. So it's not a division, it's just that a few noisy ones want to make noise and they have the power to do so. Our country is not divided, sir. It's democracy.
At saka dagdag lang bilang isang political scientist, gusto kong ipabot sa ating lahat na ang isang demokrasya laging divided. Laging hatian eh. Maghanap ka ng isang demokrasya na hindi divided, papuputol ko ulo ko.
Komunista na yan, di ba?
Kasi, ang ibig sabihin na meron ng monolith, meron ng isang boses, ang beauty ng demokrasya, naghahati-hati tayo. But at the end of the day, it should be the rule of law, it should be the rule of the majority, and this is precisely what is hurting us. That a voice of the minority is the one that undermines that democracy. Diba? Kaya yun ang dapat nating i-address. At meron naman tayong proseso. Kung talaga nakakasama sa demokrasya itong proseso ng impeachment, ba't nakasulit ito sa konstitusyon? This is available to us. This is one way of removing an impeachable official. So kung ito masama, bakit saan isunulat ito dito? Available ito sa atin as a recourse para tanggalin ng isang opisyal na nakikita natin nagkakaano muna ng pagtitiwala ng bayan.
Wait, hold on. Dion, paki-distribute yung statement.
Yes.
Si Dion?
Yes, sir.
Sandali, dito, sir. Yes, sir.
Ulitin ko lang po yung clarification ko kasi tinanong na naman kanina may panawagan si Presidente na huwag na itigil na yung planning impeachment para dito kayo. So kahit pa kausapin kayo personal or kahit alam naman natin na kayo ay supporters ni President Duterte, hindi nyo ba pakikinggan yung makiusap na yun ng Pangulong Duterte?
Of course, I can speak only for myself kasi iba-iba kami ng utak lahat hindi naman kami yung isang utak lang. For me personally, I would look into what we can get kasi this is a 2 to 3 week case building process. So, at the end of the day, pag tinabi namin na impeach, we will not, even if President Duterte will say, tigilan na natin to, we cannot just simply turn our heads and say, tigilan na natin to because our President said it. We are followers, but we are not blind followers. Meaning, if we see fit that Leni Robredo should be impeached, even against the will of the President, then what can we do? We are Filipinos. We are not Duterte supporters only. We are Filipinos.
Sir, ilan na po yung mga kongresista na nagsabi ng i-endorse nila? Kung hindi po pwedeng pangalan pa, kahit numero na lang po.
Hindi, siguro si Speaker Alvarez has already mentioned that as long as he is able to review the impeachment complaint, pag nakikita niya na
there is sufficient form and substance, he has already mentioned that he will endorse it for in the committee. Meron po kami kinakausap, yun siguro hindi ko po na ma-disclose. The only thing I can disclose is, as mentioned by Speaker Alvarez, which we have not communicated directly yet, no? We will show it to him, and if he feels that it is sufficient in form and substance, then he will endorse it. You cannot make an impeachment complaint in 2 days. It has to have a certain number of days to create a case build-up. So ito yung prosesong
ginagawa natin after the lawyers have seen that there is really a clear impeachable offense, betrayal of public trust. Nakikita pa nila na meron pa palang iba. So we have at least 2 to 3 weeks to do the case build-up, and after which the complaint is already written, drafted. We will now meet with Speaker Alvarez and we will show it to him if he wants to do it.
Gaano po kayo kakumpiyansa na ma-aprobahan po sa Kamara? Considering na may mga statements na mga presidente na ayaw niya itong
Kahit naman anong gawin namin, wala naman talaga kaming kumpiyansa sa ganung bagay. This is a leap of faith. Kaya nga sinasabi ko sa inyo, kami, lahat, wala kaming, we are seeking our credibility, we are seeking our names, we are seeking everything here, but there's no assurance because if you notice, the President has already said, well, he's not going to support it. So, if you would make it appear that this is politically motivated, it's not. So, what we are doing here is out of our duty to support, our duty to the Filipinos, because we feel that we have been maligned for a long time. Ako personally, I've been out of the country for many times. Maraming mga tanong ano nangyayari sa inyo? They feel na may mga tao, they literally felt that dead people are in the streets, that we are in a state of despotism, that we are in a state wherein all of us are fearing for our lives. That is the impact that we're getting from the foreigners outside. And as a Filipino, nasasaktan ako kasi hindi naman totoo. That's it. That's why we are doing this. All of us. We have been traveling all over the world at a certain point, and we get the same exact concern. Doon kami nasasaktan.
Balikan ko lang yung tanong tungkol doon sa kung anong reaksyon ko dahil ayaw ng presidente. Let me just put it on record that I do not serve the president. Hindi niya ako sweldohan, hindi ako binabayaran ng presidente. I am not in his payroll, I don't serve him. So, kahit anong sabihin niya, kung patigilin niya man ako, kung nakikita ko pa rin na dapat gagawin ko. Okay, we are all independent here. In fact, even if on the overall sinusuporta namin ng presidente, pero may kanya-kanya kami mga disagreement sa kanya. Kung personally, for example, I'm an anti-death penalty. Okay? Ayoko kay Gina Lopez. Di ba? So, may kanya-kanya ng pag-iba dyan. So, hindi pwedeng sabihin na isa lang hilat siya ng pagmumukha namin dito.
In addition to that, no, if you're saying that, okay, let's just clarify. Personally, okay, from my point of view, ano sinasabi ni Presidente? Lahat tayo trabahante lang sa gobyerno. Okay? When he presented himself as a candidate, he was applying for a job. Sa akin yun lang ang tingin ko dyan. He was applying for a job. Same with Grace po, Mar Rojas, Jojo Binay, all of them were applying for a job through my vote. And when I voted for him and I decided to contribute, a small amount to his campaign, to help him. I was hiring him. Okay? Let's make that clear. Okay? I hired him to be my worker, not the other way around.
Sir, sorry sir, nauna po siya. I will correct that. I was never the lawyer for Magdala. I was the lawyer for Captain Nick Feldon and 3 other Marine officers who, by the way, were all acquitted. Just wanted to let you know. So, I never was, nor ever have been the lawyer for Magdalo. Okay, Congressman Alejano is free to file an impeachment complaint the same way that we are. We've had a look at the impeachment complaint that he filed, and I understand that they filed a supplementary complaint. They need to file a supplementary complaint. That is the only comment I am going to make. Okay, next. Sir? Yes, sir. Sorry, sir, from? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry to whom, sir? Boston.
Opo, political science po.
Yung issue naman dito is how will you be able to raise the 1/3 to support the impeachment complaint when the president himself, who is actually the head of the party or the political sa house, ayaw niya.
Alam mo, para sa akin, ako lang, hindi ko iniisip yan. Ang iniisip ko lang gawin ito, and then let us see. Kasi, kung ang isipin namin na wala tayong number, kasi alam ko naman, game of numbers ito bilang ito. Pero kung nakakikita kami na mali ito, dapat ipaglaban, at hindi lang tayo maglalaban dahil ngayon, alam natin, kulang tayo sa bilang, ayaw pa ng Pangulo, ay di palagi na lang tayong ganun, palagi na tayong matatakot. The reason why we are making this with the people, tingnan nyo ngayon, hindi pa kami nag-file, pero andito na kami, humingi kami ng dagdag na tulong, dagdag na puwersa, because we want this to be an impeachment complaint by the people against the sitting Vice President. And let us take it from that. But right now, hindi ko iniisip yun, kung kulang ba ang 1/3 yung 98, 9 o 100 na members of the House of Representatives. Pero, correction lang, sir. I think it is also wrong to assume that just because the President would say no, that automatically the House of Representatives will also say no. That there is a big chance, but you have to also understand, may mga, kunyari, ito na lang sa death penalty, alam naman natin, mas gusto ng Presidente, mas extreme ang boto, pero tingnan mo, hindi naman nasunod yung gusto niya. Di ba? Although, compromise, pero hindi naman nasunod.
So, can I add something? We have to understand that we are governed by the three branches of government. Each are independent in itself. The judiciary, the executive, and the legislative. Yung legislative, hindi naman kontrolado ni Presidente yan. In fact, kaya nga siya nagsusona every year dahil pinapaalam niya sa legislative na ito yung aking agenda as President to help him because he will only execute. So technically, this is a challenge on the House of Representatives and on the Senate to make do their role as the voice of the people. So this is not, even if the President will say we are not supporting this, I will not support this, or I am not behind it. At the end of the day, it will redound to what? It will redound to the House of Representatives hearing its constituency and acting on it. Yun po yun. Hindi po yun yung dahil sinabi ng Presidente. Kasi kung pag sinabi ng Presidente, ayaw natin, pinapalabas natin ng mga fanatics tayo. O kaya mga wala tayong isip. Ang mga congressman ay para mga minions lang. Hindi po sila ganon. So, marami pong instances na ganyan na nangyayari. So, I hope that we separate the presidency from the impeachment because it's not his role. It's not his duty, and I would think that it would be bad if he would, dip his finger on it.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. I'm Camilo Villanes of KITV Philippines. I saw the interview of the President this morning. And I view it as the first act of the President as a statesman, because he gave a very good answer that we are a working democracy. No? Now, I expect that your move will go smoothly at the lower house. How do you foresee? Will there be rough sailing when you reach the Senate?
Well, let's put it this way. Mapanalangin din po kami. Kaya in as much as possible, we are praying that it will be a good Senate, a good impeachment court that will handle it, open-minded, impartial, and of course, God-fearing. So we are asking the CBCP to help us pray. Yun po yung pakiusap namin. Na sana tulungan din po kami manalangin na masilayan yung ating mga senador.
I'll add to that now. As to your question, sir, no, how do we see it, whether it's going to be rough sailing in the Senate or the House? I will speak for myself. I cannot say. But I will definitely tell you there will be two outcomes. Either we win or we lose. Ganun lang yon. And whatever happens, we're okay with that.
Last na lang. Ito kasing aming impeachment, hindi namin to sinasabi na gusto namin mapatalsik talaga. Alam mo yung, hindi namin, like, it's not our, hindi namin ambition in life na ipatalsik. Hindi kami namin personal. Of course, if we lose the fight, it's still a victory for us. Why? Because it only proves to show that democracy is working. Yun lang po. Do not say na ito mga mercenaryo, ito mga halang kaluluwa nito mga tao. Ito hindi. Kami po, we are just testing democracy if actually there is democracy working, because that is the argument of the other side towards the outside world, that we have no democracy, that we are killing the drug suspects, that we are killing even people who are not even drug addicts or drug supporters or drug pushers. So we want to tell the world that, hey, there is a democracy in the Philippines, and we are proof of it. We are trying to push the buttons of democracy, and here we are.
Yes, sir. Sir, although sabi ni Digong red light siya sa impeachment, pero would you encourage him na supportahan kayo?
No.
Bakit po hindi?
We don't need him, honestly. Honestly, we don't need him. We want the president to do his job. We want him to work. We want him to go around the Philippines, encouraging Filipinos to be Filipinos. We want him to go around the world to encourage, to promote investments. We need him to do his job. We don't want him to be worried about Lenny talking about this, people talking about that, people talking behind his back, people trying to destabilize him. We don't need him to worry about that, because we need him more as our president for every Filipino, not just for the Duterte supporters, but for every Filipino.
Sa mga senators po natin, sino kaya pinaka-qualify na pwede kapalit na ito? Tingin nyo lang.
Ayaw namin, una sa lahat, ayaw namin kasi baka may magsabi na si Trillanes, mahirap na, di ba? So, ang akin lang is, we will cross the bridge when we get there, but at the end of the day, we just want democracy working. That's it.
Ma'am, over there, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Just to the two lawyers,
Three kami, three. Apat.
Yung at present po ba, parang yung pinaka-basis po ay yung speech or yung message ni VP sa UN?
Hindi siya yung basis, siya yung nag-udyok, siya yung nag-push ng buttons bakit kami nagganito, but it's not it. It's a conglomeration of everything. Kasi you cannot just you cannot just impeach somebody on one act. Hindi po pwede yan. Yung kay Erap, nailala niyo dati, it was the white envelope, it was an envelope, but the envelope did not say anything. It just, triggered something. So, the speech was a trigger. Ito yung nag-udyok sa amin na, teka muna, yung ganon. Ito yung nag-create sa amin na napainom kami ng pampakalma. Kasi ngayon yung nanginginig kami sa inis. But for the past months, before after she assumed office, there are so many things that well, it's too many to mention. It's a conglomeration of things that, well, we just have to wait and see how we present it.
Thank you.
I don't want her to explain it. I just want her to she does not owe us an explanation at this time. We just want to finish the articles of impeachment, place it in the proper venue, and then perhaps maybe allow her to explain it there. Kasi mahirap, because I cannot trust her explaining to the public at this point with her propensity for distortions and for half-truths and slanted truths. Hindi ko po, I don't want her to be doing that. I want her to be doing the explanation in the proper form.
Attorney, does it mean that the video message is not enough basis for the final?
I cannot say because of course maraming nagsasabi na wala naman daw, sabi nga ng iba, betrayal of public trust daw, there is no crime committed. You do not need to commit a crime to betray your public trust. That's it. But maraming nagsasabi ng ganun. So there will be so many opinions later on. I'm simply saying na, well, their opinions might be valid because there are also lawyers or learned scholars. But at the end of the day, this is a political exercise. This is not a court case. This is not a criminal case. This is not a civil case. This is a political case. So it will be down to what? It will be down to how the Congress acting how the people acting through its representatives would deal with it. So yun po yung aming basis kung bakit kami nag-file ng impeachment.
Yes, sir.
Another question. Your group's political or legal move will necessarily require popular support. Because
Please define popular support.
popular support means to say the people will be behind you. Do you have any plans how to mobilize the people so that it will clearly show that the people are with you in this house?
Well, we already said, sir, that, we don't care if the president is with us or not. Okay? They're free to support. We will respect that. We've already said we don't care whether the president supports us or not. We don't care whether the people support us or not. Remember, we are invoking a constitutional process. Regardless of whether people agree with it or not, we will follow and we will obey the majesty of the law.
Don't you have plans to mobilize the people?
Of course, we have plans.
Busy na kami. Wala na kami oras din.
Ako hindi pa masyadong busy. So I have to be honest. We differ in that regard. No, ako kasi I believe that the people's voice should also be heard. That's the reason why on April 2, meron po kaming palit bise sa Luneta. I will be there. I am also spearheading the event. Kaya malamang ako yung target ngayon ng lahat ng kalaban. So here I am. Okay. The April 2 event will be headed by, of course, Mocha and myself and Jimmy. And we are asking the people to show indignation towards the actions of our Vice President. This is the first time we will actually be impeaching a Vice President. Yung parang magtataka yung bakit yung vice wala pa naman sa posisyon. Yun nga yung bago dito na bakit natin i-impeach ang hindi pa naging presidente. Why? Because she's doing something ruinous to our country. So come April 2, meron po kaming event, meron po kaming indignation, people's rally. Wala pong politiko doon, kami-kami lang po, tayo pong mga Pilipino andon, magkakaisa tayo. We will, this is not even a celebration because there's nothing to celebrate at this point. We are destroyed in the international community. Our Vice President, sitting Vice President, single-handedly destroyed our reputation. So we are there to show indignation. So we need people's support. And we need also people to support us, lawyers and those who are learned and those who have information. To please do come out. Well, at your own risk, of course. We cannot secure your safety kasi kami din hindi namin alam paano i-secure yung sarili namin. But we want to make sure that this pushes through because democracy is really working in the Philippines and we want to show the world that it is working.
Information lang po, measure ng support, nag-put up po ng parang funding nung sa Luneta, wala palit bise. sa mechanism na nag-solicit ng funds online all over the world. Wala pang 2 araw o 3 araw, nagkaroon na kaagad ng 1.6 million.
Alis po na ngayon.
Halos 2 million na ngayon.
Despite being hacked.
Several times, attacked wherever. So that means that there is a widespread support. And if you are, if you read FB, social media, Twitter, na kung saan halos doon na yata ako nakatira, kaya nagagalit ang asawa.
Ako din.
Makikita mo doon, grabe ang sentimiento, and I see people who used to support Mrs. Robredo is now changing their minds. So, there is a groundswell. We don't know how much, we don't know the numbers. The only number we can cite is that in order for you to generate more than about close to 2 million in less than a week is already enough to tell you that there is a support behind this.
One more question, please.
Yes, sir.
Are you supportive of finding a Christmas bar?
We will cross the bridge when we get there, but it did cross our mind. Pero as lawyers kasi, ako personally, parang tatanggalan mo pa ng labada yung, di ba, tatanggalan mo ng posisyon, tatanggalan mo pa ng labada. Masakit yon. So, ako, I will, technically, speaking as lawyers, medyo, no offense, pero ako kasi, parang masakit na yun eh, yung tanggalan mo na ng, at pinaghirapan na, ilang beses siyang kumuha ng bar, so mahirap. So, nakakatawa
Personally, ako also I agree, no? I mean, you know, there is life after politics.
Yes.
You know, our officials have to understand this eh.
Oo.
Diba? You know, kaya kapit tuko kayong lahat dyan kasi ginagawa niyong hanap buhay. Diba? Tapos na yan, okay? We are serving notice now. Business as usual is over. Diba? You can work hard and earn good money outside. It's not who you know, it's what you know.
Tsaka yung impeachment process, kasi pag na-impeach ka, hindi ka na pwede magsilbi sa gobyerno forever. So kung tatanggalin mo pa siya ng kanyang profesyon ng pagiging abogado, parang inalisan mo na siya ng kinabukasan. Ang ako personally, ang tinitingnan ko kay Lenny dito yung ginawa niya bilang basic Pangulo. Hindi ko siya inalisan ng kinabukasan bilang isang tao. So yun lamang, so hindi ko susuportahan ang tanggalan siya ng kabuhayan. Although I'm sure marami siyang pera.
At I'm sure na kami,
I'm sure na sa mga nakikita namin mga datos, hindi siya maubusan ng pera. Pero huwag na rin nating tanggalan yun. Nandun na, sa kanya na yun. Pinaghirapan niya yun, sabi nga ni Bruce. So ako supported ko yung impeachment, pero yung kaso na para madisba siya, hindi na. Tama na yun.
Good morning. Bilang kayo po ay mga abogadong may puso, maaari po bang paliwanagan niyo po ang ating Pangulo kung ano ba ang pinag-iba o ang magiging implikasyon kung siya po ay mag-resign na lamang as against ma-impeach.
Pangulo?
Pangalawang
Matakot naman
Pangulo.
ang Pangulo. Huwag naman ganyan.
Although alam natin lahat na abogado rin ang ating pangalawang Pangulong si Mrs. Robredo, pero baka kung hindi niya alam ang difference ng mag-resign siya at mag-impeach, tulad nga ng nasabi ni Professor Contreras na pag na-impeach ka, ay hindi ka na pwedeng bumalik pa or mag-run pa for any political position. So, bigyan niyo nga po ng advice ang ating pangalawang Pangulo at ipaliwanag din sa taong bayan kung ano ang pinag-iba o ano magiging consequence pag siya po ay nag-resign na lamang kung ma-impeach sa taong bayan.
Ito kasi yan, boses. Hello? Ayan, ito na. Mahirap po kasi mag-advise kay Lenny kasi hindi naman siya nakikinig kahit nga siguro kay Jessie na nagsasabi na siguro sa kanyang tulog. So, maybe to tell her na mag-resign, of course, that will be a stretch kasi alam natin that people are behind her. Marami din pagkabuhayan showcase na alam mo yun, maraming tao sa likod niya who wants her to be there. Kasi maraming silang inaasa doon. So, they would never advise her, ma'am, umalis na lang tayo. Hindi po ganun yun. So I would not be presumptuous to say na I would be advising her. Kaya nga kami namin pinapa-impeach kasi kung kaya lang namin i-advise, in-advise na namin, di ba? Of course, yung resign, madali. Why? Because if you resign, you can actually come back. President Erap did that, and now he is mayor of Manila. So, oo, and of course, if you resign, you can still go back to the good graces of the people. Kasi nga, tayo mga Pilipino, aside sa magaling tayong magka-amnesia, madali tayong makalimot, madali din tayong magpatawad. Salamat sa CBCP na nagbibigay sa atin ng mapagpatawad na puso, 'di ba? So yun po. But of course, when you are impeached, marami pong mangyari yan. That's why kami, in as much as possible, naawa kami kay CJ Puno, na-impeach din because it was CJ Corona pareho na CJ Corona na in-impeach nila. Well, of course, I have personal feelings about that, but it's not nice to impeach somebody. Yan ang totoo. But because it's a democratic process and it needs to be done, we have to do it. This is a dirty job, a very dirty job. And I've done dirtier jobs in the past, but this is the dirtiest for me. So, but we have to do it because this is how democracy works. And it is for the Filipino people. That's why we're doing this.
So attorney, in conclusion, ibig sabihin, mas makabubuti para sa kanya ang mag-resign na lang. Para magkaroon pa siya ng hanap buhay or opportunity na makabalik sa lingkod sa public service. Tama po ba?
Sa atin, nakakabubuti. Pero hindi natin alam sa kanya, sa kanyang mga galamay, sa umaasa sa kanya, hindi yung maganda. Siyempre, hindi. But of course, siguro, I can say this for myself and for the people who are watching her self-destruct or destroy the Filipino people and reputation. Of course, we want her to resign, but we know she will never resign. You know, that's the beauty of opposition. They want to hold on to it until kingdom come. So yun.
Ako naman, I disagree that we should let her resign. Kasi this is a constitutional process. Let her face the music and explain to the people. Ang ginawa niya, naka-apekto sa ating bansa. So, obligasyon niyang ipaliwanag. Masasakdal siya ngayon, masasakdal siya. Dapat ipaliwanag niya sa atin. Kung tama yung paliwanag niya, di mananalo siya. Ngayon, kung mali, hindi niya tatanggapin ng tao. Party yun para maglinaw. Kasi sabi nga ng mga kasamahan ko, ako naman handang matalo. Kung dapat matalo kami. Pero kasi pag mag-resign ka, parang it's a parang easy way out. Parang mayroon ka gustong tanggalin na empleyado, tapos maggugulo ng lahat. Sige nga, bigyan mo lang ng graceful exit. Walang closure, hindi lumabas ang truth. Yung basehan natin sa demokrasya is informasyon. Katotohanan, maraming mga kwento, naglalabasan, pati yung mga we are corrected. Diba, naglalabasan yung mga ganyang klase ng kwento. Siguro dapat ay mabigyan ng forum para malinawan tayo sa mga ganitong klase ng usapin. At sa tingin ko naman, kung ako si Mrs. Robredo, kung harapin ko to, maganda itong opportunity to, marami siyang pera, ang gaganding ng mga abogado siguro niya, para ma-depensa niya sarili niya at pagbigyan yung proseso. I think asking her to resign is just a very quick, easy way out that will not serve the interest of democracy.
So, Prof, what about if she issues a public apology and recant all her statements sa international community?
Will she do it?
If she does, ano po ang magiging implication nito sa...
O di, mabuti.
Admit that she's lying.
Oo. Lalabas ang katotohanan, ang totoo yung sinasabi niya, di ba? Pag ganun. Parang I'm sorry, ganun. Oo. Di ko ganahan na natin agad.
Kasagutin ko dyan, MJ, tanong sa akin yan ilang beses. Ako, as long as she says sorry, she admits that she made a statement unverified, uncorroborated, at sasabihin niya sa European Union na nagkamali siya at bawiin yung mga threat sa ating bayan. Kasi ang punto ko dito is really paangatin yung buhay ng ating kababayan. At yung mga negosyo na yun, napaka-importante sa atin, yung mga economic commitments. I-recommend ako sa kanila na i-atras ang impeachment complaint. But that's a recommendation I will make if she does that.
So, may tanong ba? Other questions? Yes, Ms. Sandra.
What do you know?
That indeed there were a lot of killings when administration started. So, ano mo palagay nyo doon? Ibig ko sabihin, yung kaisipan po na gano'n, ng iba, na pinapaniwalaan ng iba, ay maaring ang pananaw nila bino-voice out lang din naman niya kung ano yung nangyayari.
Okay, this is my take on that. Yung sinasabi nilang 7,000 extrajudicial killings, those are sweeping words and generalizations that if you look at it from the PNP point of view, it's farthest from the truth. Kasi marami doon, ito ha, I'm going to give an example. The definition of extrajudicial killing by itself is not properly defined under Philippine laws nor international laws. Under the UN Convention on Crimes, ito po yung sinasabi mong intentional killings. Intentional killings, for crying out loud, is even higher in 2014 and 2013 compared to present. The 2016 and 2014 are higher than in the present. In the present. So, intentional killings yun, meaning murder, etc. Yung extrajudicial killing, baka namatay din sa sakit ng ngipin at binunggo yung ulo niya. And it covers everything, pati yung nasagasaan, pati yung nasaksak dahil nag-away sa syota, pati yung nagpatayan dahil sa Dota, yun kasama yun. Yun yung problem doon. So to tell, sabihin mo na what we already know means that, teka, why do you know these things? It's because somebody is spreading it. And it's not us.
Let me add to that, okay? I'll tell you a story, okay? About 2 weeks ago, I was representing a client in Mandaluyong, okay? Criminal cases. You know, ang dami-daming kaso doon. Alam mo yung mga kaso ng mga nasasaktal doon? Riding in tandem ordinance. Apparently, the city of Mandaluyong has an ordinance banning riding in tandem. Pag hindi nyo kamag-anak or hindi pwede. If I'm not mistaken, it's ordinance number 656 series of 2015. Why? Why was that ordinance enacted? Because ang daming patayan ng riding in tandem. Why did we not consider that extrajudicial killing during the time of the past administration? Okay. There was an ordinance, an LGU right here in Metro Manila did something about it because it was so prevalent.
Okay, Sandra, bilang tugon lang doon sa tanong mo na yung alam na natin, mapanganib na statement yun. Kasi ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng alam na natin? Popular knowledge lang. Ibig sabihin pinag-uusapan lang. Pero ang issue kasi yan ng criminal statistics, masalimuot yan at maselang informasyon. Nag-make ang ating vice Pangulo ng mga claims na maaring hindi pa verified. Kunyari yung kanyang sinabing palit ulo, yun ay dapat i-verify muna. Hindi siya ordinaryong mamamayan para magsasalita sa labas ng bansa at sasabihin sa mga tao, sa EU, sa UN, na ganito nangyayari. Abay kung ordinaryong chismosa ang magsasabi doon, walang problema. Vice Presidente ka, nagsalita ka pa sa likuran mo ang bandila ng Pilipinas, pati ang seal ng opisina mo. It has the imprint of an official statement. Doon lumalakas ang kaso kasi hindi mo pa nga verified. Kaya yung issue na alam na natin, matagal nang alam natin, dapat natin i-unpack yun eh. In fact, if I may, huwag niyo akong pagalitan dito, yung 7,000 na nilalabas ngayon, alam naman natin na yun ay defective. Na-question na ba yan sa media? Bakit ang media laging ginagamit yung 7,000 na yun, hindi mo nang ina-unpack? Ngayon kung na-question yan, dapat therefore, kayo mismo nagsasabi na hindi natin alam yun, pero yun yung alam na parang chismis lang. Di ba? I interviewed General Bato. I interviewed General Bato about the 7,000. Sabi niya, paano magka 7,000 yan? Paano ganun? Eh, meron namang figures lahat yun. In fact,
attorney, ako na lang, correct from the source. Okay. No? Kasi yung ginagawa ng opisina ko is really getting all those data and verifying. Yung palit ulo, hindi po yung sinasabi ni Lenny na pag ina-arresto at wala ding arestuin, papalitan ng kamag-anak. Hindi po yun. Ang konsepto ng palit ulo is arresting the small fish But if you say something to arrest the bigger fish, we will exempt you from criminal liability. That's in the law. Republic Act 9165, Section 33 provides for it. So yan ang konsepto ng palit-ulo. Pangalawa yung 7,000. For many months, I've been saying na hindi 7,000, hindi 5,000. Palaki ng palaki, hindi 5,000, hindi 6,000, hindi 7,000. Because what we have to confirm here is how many were killed during police operations. 2,500. Yung 4,500, walang kinalaman sa drug operations yan. Ingat, binatay ng kapitbahay, dota, away, hold up. Ang ginagawa lang nila, that's why we're saying there's bad faith. Kasi alam naman nila yun. We've been telling them all along for the last so many months na hindi yun ang data, pero binubuo pa rin nila at sinalo ng pandaigdigang komunidad.
At kinakain ng media din. Yun lang.
Okay, wait ha. Guys, please, can we, hold on, can we just let Ms. Sandra finish, okay? Yes.
Statement ni Lenny ay 7,000 and the palitulo.
Among others. Among others. It's not a definitive list. Dalawa lang yung binringot namin na. By the way,
nag-research rin kami. Sabi nga, may 500 daw na nag-file ng CHR sa DOJ ng mga paglabag, no? Paglabag sa karapatang pantao. This is not yet official, but meron na silang figure ang DOJ na binigay sa akin. 39 pa lang daw. At hindi pa nila masabi kung yung 29 na yun is within the term of President Duterte. Basta may 29 na nakafile doon galing sa CHR na mga prospective na paglabag sa karapatang pantao. So wala rin 500. Anong gusto nila nakuha yung 500?
Alright, Ms. Sandra?
At ito, I talked to General Bato. I had a live video with him 2 days ago. Tinanong ko talaga sa kanya, General Bato, yung sinasabi ba ni Lenny Robredo na palit ulo, yung na-report niya ba sa iyo yan? O nagtanong ba siya sa iyo kung totoo yun? She never asked General Bato about the PNP about it. So, ano yun? Bakit ka magsasabi ng ganon sa UN for international release when in fact you did not even ask the chief PNP if that is the case? What is the palit-ulo? Palit-ulo version niya, hindi yung palit-ulo under the law. Palit-ulo, hindi niya tinanong si General Bato, nor anybody in the PNP for that matter. So ano yan? Bakit lang, ganon, di ba? Yes, sir. Yes.
So, sandali lang.
Yung tungkol sa extrajudicial killing, nasabi nila, alam ba natin lahat? Pero alam ba natin lahat yung extrajudicial killing na nangyayari sa Zamboanga del Norte na magkalaban ng dalawang supplier ng drugs? Yung isang supplier ay governor at sila governor pa ngayon ng Zamboanga del Norte na Liberal Party at pinapatay niya yung mga kalaban niya sa droga. Wala nang imbestiga dito, wala nang sabi dito na alam natin lahat. Pero yan, yung mga killers nila mismo nag-testify na sa Congress na pinapatay yung kalaban nila supplier. At ngayon, yung mga killers naman ng Liberal Party ng Governor ay pinapatay na naman niya. At mayroon pang natirang tatlo na ngayon nag-testify na sa Congress. Yan ang klarong extrajudicial killing. Yan ang pinag-itili ng Robredo na ay yung Governor ng Liberal Party sa Zamboanga del Norte ay involved sa drugs.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Finally, Ms. Sandra, one last answer to your question. The Vice President mentioned about a palit-ulo scheme. However, if you look at the law, this amounts to kidnapping or serious illegal detention. But no attempt has been made to file a case or to report the matter to police authorities, either for data collection or for the filing of an actual case. So, in effect, this does not exist. So, the fact that the Vice President had used this in a speech that makes a conclusion that this is a factual matter is misleading. So that is why this is very important for us. This is the Vice President giving fake news.
Ito kasi yan eh. Pinaparatangan kami ng mga social media bloggers na nagbibigay kami ng false news. Kami daw ang progenitors ng false news. This way, ngayon, sinasabi namin, teka ma'am, ikaw ata ng expert ng masamang balita na hindi naman totoo. Kasi kami, we police ourselves. Teka muna, baka mapaso tayo dito. We do it, and yet we are still called progenitors of false news. But our Vice President is going around the world. Now, papunta siyang South Africa. We got hold of it with Congressman Banal, with Senator Pangilinan, with people, sino pa ba? Abad, going to, sponsored by a German organization for human rights. And we don't know what she will be telling them there. And if they are to be believed, because she is telling us, they are telling people there about news na hindi naman natin alam kung totoo o hindi. Kasi hindi verified. So, how can we stop that? Kami na nga mismo, sinasabi na kami nagbibigay ng false news, but in reality, wala namang maniniwala sa amin, sa totoo lang na international community, but they will believe her because she has the vice presidency seal at the back of her head. She has that position to make it a credible statement. Yun ang masama. Yun ang ayaw naming mangyari sa atin. Because it's not destroying President Duterte. He will end his term, whether we like it or not. But at the end of the day, it's destroying the Filipino people. It's destroying our way of life. It's destroying our livelihood. It's destroying foreign investors coming in because they're afraid that people are going to be killed in the streets. And this is destroying the poor Filipinos who would have jobs if these foreign investors came in and not being frightened away by her statements. Isipin niyo lang po, hindi po yung presidente ang magiging maano dito, nasasaktan dito. Kami pong mga maliliit na tao ang nasasaktan dito. Kami pong mga tao na naghahanap ng trabaho, na mabibigyan sa ng trabaho, if people from the EU would invest in the Philippines. Hindi nangyayari because everybody is doing that.
Alright, thank you. Since there are no further questions, we reiterate.
Have a nice day. Hope you treat us well.
I will reiterate, this press conference was called for the purpose of announcing our intention to file an impeachment complaint and to call for volunteers, lawyers, researchers, and people with information to help supplement what we are already drafting. The spokesman for this team is Attorney Bruce Rivera, and he can be contacted through Facebook.
Ano naman mahabang pag-usapan yung UI, diba? Yung mga classification. Alam ko naman yun. Alam ko naman yung mga
Nabata.